From shoving marshals to throwing punches at rivals, this is what happens when Formula One drivers lose control. Stress, adrenaline, and the fight for glory boil over, turning even the most calculated racers into ticking time bombs. Championship battles altered, podium dreams shattered. The result? Some of the wildest, most iconic moments in F1 history. So what drives these billion-dollar athletes to snap? Well, let's dive into the most explosive incident ever to unfold on the track. And most importantly, what sparked the chaos? The Hamilton versus Rosberg rivalry, when teammates become enemies. There are few rivalries that have shaped the modern era of Formula One as much as Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Once childhood friends and teammates for Mercedes, their relationship became more tense than ever when the two drivers began to vie for world championships. As Mercedes dominated the 2014-2016 seasons, tensions between the two drivers started to boil over. The 2016 Spanish Grand Prix became a defining moment. On the first lap of the race, Rosberg, having a lead on Hamilton by just meters, made an aggressive defensive move. Not one to back down, however, Hamilton tried to overtake, with the consequence of causing both cars to crash out of the race, well before it had even begun to properly start. Mercedes branded the incident immediately as a racing incident, but it was plain for all to see that it was the end result of a far, far deeper rivalry. The battle behind the scenes went far beyond the track. The crash symbolized lost points, but represented pride and domination. Rosberg would eventually claim his first championship later that year, but he announced his immediate retirement, claiming the emotional strain of going up against Hamilton had become too much to bear. Their rivalry, punctuated with so many on-track collisions and radio outbursts, reminds one how the pressure of racing will have even the closest of friendships turn into bitter rivalries. Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost, the psychological war. Indeed, the Ayrton Senna-Alain Prost rivalry is one of the most legendary in F1 history, not only for their on-track battles, but because of the psychological wars carried out by these two legends themselves, with whom they teamed up for McLaren. Both were vastly different personalities, the aggressive style of Senna and the calculating approach of Prost wrestling together over a given period. Now, one of the most famous battles occurred at the 1989 Japanese Grand Prix. Senna was mathematically going to have to win the race, while Prost sealed his chance at the championship with a win. On lap 46, Senna tried to pass Prost at the chicane, but Prost turned left, cutting across Senna and wrecking both cars. Senna managed to get his car started again and eventually went on to win the race, only to be later disqualified for improper re-entry in the course, thereby handing over the championship to Prost. The aftermath was severe. Senna accused the FIA of pro-Prost bias, and it was no more at the boiling point. He got his revenge the next year when Senna crashed into Prost at the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. Prost did not take his driver's position. Their rivalry transcended the racing itself. It was an egocentric battle which well illustrated how the pressures of competing at the top can even make the best drivers lose the plot. Vettel's outburst in Baku, the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, during this weekend, one would not have expected Sebastian Vettel to be out of character and lose his cool. The calm four-time world champion was seen when on the back straight while on the last lap. Vettel suddenly slammed into Lewis Hamilton. The scene was unfolding like any other chaotic race with multiple crashes and safety car periods. But it was during that period when the chaos began to unravel, that of a safety car period. Vettel actually accused Lewis Hamilton of brake testing him. Extremely angry, Vettel dived alongside Hamilton and deliberately swerved into him, bumping him. This was a huge moment, especially for a driver known for his professionalism. The FIA issued Vettel a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, but this incident went over the fine line that separates being aggressive and losing composure. Even after the race was in, Vettel still refused to back down, repeatedly stating that Hamilton had brake tested him. The incident marked a sour note in their relationship for the balance of the season, with both drivers trading shots in the press. Once again, it was a rare moment of uncharacteristic behaviour from Vettel, but it served as a reminder that even the calmest of drivers can lose his cool under pressure. Max Verstappen versus Esteban Ocon, a pit lane confrontation. Max Verstappen is no stranger to controversy, but his run-in with Esteban Ocon after the 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix was arguably the most intense he's been involved in. Running comfortably at the race, backmarker Ocon attempted to unlap himself and ended up tangling with Verstappen, spinning the Red Bull driver out of racing distance and costing him the win. Verstappen was fuming. He stormed into the weighing room after the race and collided with Ocon. The scuffle quickly turned serious, with Verstappen shoving Ocon a few times before officials had to intervene to end the brawl. The FIA sentenced Verstappen to 2 days of public service for his actions, but the whole circus pointed out the thin line of emotions that can boil over in the cutthroat world of F1. Of course, Verstappen wouldn't forget the bitter taste of that day. He was cruising for victory when he lost it to what he thinks was reckless and deadly driving by Ocon. Physical confrontation in F1 is a rare thing, but the way the pressure went over even the best of them is an alarming thing to say. Michael Schumacher versus Jacques Villeneuve, 1997 title decider. Michael Schumacher is arguably one of the finest drivers ever to have sat behind the wheel of an F1 car, but the collision with Jacques Villeneuve in the European Grand Prix in Jerez in 1997 is surely one of the most infamous moments of his career. Schumacher led Villeneuve by a solitary point going into the race, and both knew the title would go to the winner on the day. As Villeneuve attempted to pass Schumacher for the lead, Schumacher turned into him, hoping to send Villeneuve off into the dirt. In turn, he ended up forcing himself out of the race, while allowing Villeneuve to drive all the way to a win and the championship. The FIA subsequently disqualified Schumacher for unsportsmanlike behaviour over the championship, and the result shocked the sport at large. Schumacher later confessed that he had acted in haste, as the pressure of the moment was too much for him to bear, but the incident is a black mark on his otherwise illustrious career. It had become a perfect example of how even the best of drivers can become vulnerable to the pressures of a given situation during competition. Nelson Piquet versus Eliseo Salazar, the physical altercation. Even while F1 is traditionally associated with on-track drama, the tension sometimes boils over into physical fighting. Arguably, the most famous case came during the 1982 German Grand Prix, when Nelson Piquet attacked backmarker Eliseo Salazar after the two collided on track. Piquet was trying to lap Salazar and the cars collided. Piquet's car suffered all the shock of the smash into the barriers, ending his race at once. Fuming at the loss of his chance to win, Piquet stormed over to Salazar and began throwing punches at him, going as far as attempting to kick him at one point. The incident was filmed live and has gone down in history as one of the most infamous incidents ever involved with F1. While dramatic in its nature, it also reminded of the immense pressure put on drivers during racing. Piquet later admitted the collision had been a racing incident, but at the time, his emotions got the better of him. James Hunt's punch, the 1977 Canadian Grand Prix. The fiery personality was a characteristic for both track and off-track activities. One of his best-known episodes was in the 1977 Canadian Grand Prix, where he punched a race marshal who was trying to help him in a crash. Fighting for the lead, Hunt lost control and went into the barriers. He was in a rage and furious as, approaching him to get out of the car, a marshal got a punch in the face and fell down. Spectators were quite shocked at the scene, as if the real-life acting was being brought onto the track. That incident further cemented the reputation as one of the sport's most unpredictable characters. While Hunt later apologized for his incident, it was a classic example of how easily drivers can get out of control in the heat of the moment. Competition at the high end can cause even the most seasoned of drivers to act irrationally in the heat of the moment. Mark Webber versus Sebastian Vettel, the 2013 Malaysian Grand Prix incident. Now, one of the worst incidents in recent history of F1 was when Red Bull Racing's Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel collided at the end of the 2013 Malaysian Grand Prix. The team was well and truly in very strong control of the race, with Webber leading and Vettel behind him. Approaching the final stages of the race, the team issued multi-21 orders to both drivers to maintain their positions to ensure a safe 1-2 finish, but Vettel, ignoring the team orders, took a bold and perhaps dangerous overtake on Webber. Vettel, who had been given the team order to stop and let Webber pass, was furious and waited after the race to show his anger. He attacked him by saying he ignored the team's strategy, jeopardized the result, and risked an on-track collision. The German driver did not issue any apology, as he claimed he was racing to win and just did what felt right in the heat of the moment. The incident put strain not just on the relationship between Webber and Vettel, but also brought friction within the Red Bull team. It's incidents like these that remind us that, however brilliant and composed Formula One drivers are, they're human beings. It's only that intense pressure of competing at the highest level can cause even the best to lose control. Therefore then, resulting in the dramatic moments that go into the book of history of the sport. So, whether it's bitter rivalry, a physical confrontation, or simply madness, it's proof that F1's about more than just speed, it's about feeling driven for the sake of winning. Now, which one of these moments were absolutely crazy according to you? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of motorsport.